Hello, hello, hello! My name is Tormented Undead, and I'm here today to show you a game, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. It's a blast from the past, first coming out on PS3. This game is a medieval warfare kind of game with giant monsters and a dragon that takes your heart. Your entire goal is to take it back and become God. Well, let's get right into it. The game's audio suffered greatly due to a few technical difficulties with the settings when I recorded this game. I apologize for that. For this fight here, you'll see me commit suicide. It makes the scene go by faster. I do it every time I play. Otherwise you would spend 5 minutes attacking his feet until he finally gives in and swats you across the map. Like so. Obviously, a single pinprick isn't enough to slay a dragon. If anything, it'll be a toothpick for him. He may need it here in a minute. Beware, kids, this is some 18 plus contact. Cover your eyes now. I'm kidding, obviously. Well, you have to admit this was one hell of a first date. Hasn't even took her to dinner yet. Already took her heart. Hell, if I had to fight a dragon in exchange for pretty much immortality, and to keep my immortality, just don't kill the dragon, I'd be okay with that. As long as the dragon doesn't kill off the rest of the human race, that is. Otherwise, what the hell's the point of being immortal? Someone help! She's still alive! If you would face me, newly arisen. Take up arms, newly arisen. I prefer to be a fighter over Strider and Mage. The wounds have healed, and the worst seems to have come to pass, but her heart, it lies silent. If you would face me. It's the work of some dark magic. A curse. People are already crazy about this dragon. And now we have this. No good can come of this. Let me know if anything changes. I leave it up to you. My translation is a little off. I apologize. I don't exactly remember the exact context, but that's pretty much the moral, or yeah, that's pretty much it overall. They're pretty much saying you don't have a heartbeat and you're up and moving around. Obviously, you're technically dead. Since I already beat the game twice now, I can come in here and get all my other armor and merchandise that I had from the game last time. So I can literally walk out of here a complete badass, fully equipped with my endgame items, weapons, armor, etc., etc. Even some from the DLC, such as that little unicorn. The sword, however, is an ice weapon. The shield, even though it looks like it would be a holy weapon, it really isn't, sadly. Sorry, I'm really not good at talking and going through the inventory at the same time. Can't quite remember exactly what I was wearing. Where is this? Hang on, I gotta find 2 rings. They're pretty much named after... They pretty much have the same name as like 90% of the rings I have in here. They both increase my attack. Give me a minute. Shouldn't take too long. Yep, I'm good. There she is. Now I'm going to show you the small quests you can find in this area that you need to do before you continue on the game. Not only does it give you more experience and some spending money when you have pretty much nothing to your name, but it also lets you understand some of the game mechanics. It teaches you a couple things that you probably wouldn't figure out on your own if you're new to the MMO genre. And if not, it's pretty much just common knowledge. This is Rook. He's a pawn. It's funny that his name is Rook, even though he's a pawn. Because there's kings, there's queens, there's knights, then there's a pawn named Rook, and then everybody else is called pawns. So, for me, I thought it was funny that it hints at the idea of a chess game. As if you're just one of the many chess pieces on the board. Like your fate doesn't belong to you. Which is technically correct. Your fate does not belong to you in this game. You're free to make any choice you want. But the moment you attack that dragon, your fate was sealed. So the first person we're going to go see is a fisherman in a house not too far from here. His door should be right around... Oh, there it is. They always like to move around, so he's not always here. Just look around, look for a little green box above their head. You'll find him eventually. It isn't too hard. I'll take a little bit of time so you can read his commentary. While I do that, and show you where to find the next guy, I'll explain to you the 3 main classes for the beginner game that you can choose from. The first class is obviously a fighter who uses sword and shield. There's a variety of sword skills and a variety of shield skills. Shield skills involve summoning enemies so their aggro points to you. And the attack with a sword is just basic run across the map, stab, and a few other basic moves that can be found and used pretty much anywhere. A lot of classes that share the sword as one of the main weapons has the basic set like that. The second set would be a strider who wields dual daggers and a bow. They're obviously good at climbing large monsters, attacking at quick speeds, and is proficient in long-range attacking, such as being in the back of the pack, giving some support when needed. The mage class is pretty much an area of effect damage dealer. More or less. It depends on how far you upgrade the skills and what skills you use. But more or less, they're a high damage area of effect kind of class. The downside of it is that there's casting times. Mages are the only ones that have any kind of healing abilities, so they're the main pawns you want to have on your team to keep you and your other pawns in mint condition. They have 3 basic types of elemental damage. There's fire, lightning, and ice. Fire just does burning damage. They'll get lit on fire and take constant damage if you hit them enough times and they're weak against it. Lightning has a stun effect. When they're struck by lightning, they'll freeze up, fall to the floor, and have to get back up again. Ice, if you use it enough times and use it effectively, you can freeze them solid, dealing extra damage on the next hit, breaking the ice case. And there's 2 other elements as well, light and dark. Light is usually good against undead and the like. And dark, I haven't really found any good use for dark. I haven't found anything that's really weak against it. I would assume that human type enemies would be weak against dark. That would just be my assumption. I have yet to prove it. Dark attack just doesn't seem to do much to me. There's 6 other classes. The 3 main ones, the fighter, the strider, and the mage, are the 3 basic beginning classes. After that, there are 3 advanced classes that your pawn and you can learn. The advanced class of a fighter is a warrior, who uses 2-handed weapons, either blunt or slash. The speed of swinging is always the same. It's not affected by weight, and it's not affected by the weapon you use. So if you use a really big hammer, it'll swing just as fast as a sword. Or at least I haven't been able to notice the difference between the 2. Having heavy weight on your person, however, such as being overweight, overloaded, having too many items, will affect your stamina regeneration, and I believe it affects your sword swings. So it's not good for the warrior class, since they're already slow at swinging their weapons. The other advanced classes would be a ranger. He's proficient in daggers and bow, just like the strider, but the bow is bigger and does more damage. He also has a variety of long-range attacks. Oh, and before I forget, this quest I'm doing now for the herbalist. It involves having to look for 2 different types of flowers, one at night and one during the day. There's a moon glow, I believe, over here to the left. Yep, right here. That would you have to be at night to get, if the name doesn't already give it away. This here is a rift stone, which allows you to battle the Ur Dragon, the second in-game end boss. It's an optional boss, you don't have to fight him. The other one is Sunbright. You'll find it during the day. I'll take you outside and show you how to find them. They're around the bottom of big trees. I'll show you that right there. Well, back to the other topic. The 3rd advanced class would be a sorcerer, who's proficient in attack spells. Has a variety of disability spells, a variety of attack spells, and can even increase the attack spells to do insane damage, such as raining down meteors. You just have asteroids after asteroids after asteroids, completely crowd-wrecking people. You can summon huge-ass tornadoes that just wreck and throw smaller people up in the sky and drop them. Pick them up, drop them. Pick them up, drop them. You can have a lightning whip that you can use as well. Not to mention icicles that literally just come out of the ground and stab through your enemies. This peddler here, if you don't save him, could cause you a little bit of trouble on a quest where you have to gather information. He can sell you, well, I wouldn't call it illegal goods, but falsified information that can help you with a specific quest. It's up to you whether or not you want to save him. He gives you a starting cape, a leather cape. Now, other than the 6 main classes that I've mentioned before, there are 3 hybrid classes that only you can use. Your pawn cannot use them. The hybrid classes involve Assassin, a Mystic Knight, and an Assassin. The Assassin is proficient in sword, shield, bows, and daggers. They're proficient in all 4. However, you can only have 1 sword or 1 pair of daggers, together with a shield or a bow. Any of those 2 combinations. So you can have a sword and a bow, a dagger and a shield, etc., etc. Each weapon has their own skills, respectively, which changes the gameplay. For the Mystic Knight, he uses swords, magic staffs, and maces. He's the only class that can use a mace. No other class is allowed to use it. He also uses a specific shield called a magic shield, which can be enchanted for different kind of buffs when defending. So if an enemy attacks you and you block at the right time, if it's a fire enchantment, it throws fireballs at him. Lightning, lightning strikes. Ice freezes the target. Holy, it heals you. Dark, it'll absorb it, and then you can fire the damage back. It all just depends on what you cast on the shield. Plus, you can self-enchant your weapons. So if you want fire, you can cast fire yourself onto your weapon. You don't have to worry about it. The other hybrid is a magic archer. God, I can't remember what I said before. I was wrong. The other one is a magic archer who uses dual daggers, a staff, and a magic bow. Magic bows lock on. There's a huge ass circle that you cover over the enemies. And then they all light up, you pull the shot, and they all just home in on the enemies. The magic class. So he doesn't use physical damage, he usually uses magical damage. The physical would be coming from his daggers, unless you're using a staff. And now, with all the quests done, I showed you how they're all done now. I'm going to head to the encampment. I'm going to fast forward through this part. Make it a little easier and quicker instead of watching me take forever just to get to the sticking encampment. Here, you're going to be called to the main captain's tent. A creepy looking riftstone is in there that you get to speak to. And he'll send you on your way to go kill some half-dead monster. Couple other things I want to show you in skills is that every skill has an entire variety. As you upgrade your rank, these will increase. There's also core skills and augments. Core skills increase your proficiency in, say, weapon. It increases, like, if you have like 4 swings per attack, you can have a secondary set of swings. So instead of just the typical slash, 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 you can slash, pause, slash, and then you'll have a completely different set of moves. which is good for breaking defenses. Each core skill is different. Augments affect different variety of things in the game, such as increases your strength, increases your resistance to both physical and magical attack, and then it affects a variety of different things. Like one of the augments I have now decreases my stamina usage when running. So what usually takes like 7 stamina bars only takes me 1 to run. It doesn't affect anything else, it just affects my run. So I can travel fast without having to worry about running out of stamina as quick. It helps travel so much more. Now when you're done talking to the Riftstone, you're gonna come out here. Oh. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I knew it. I put on the wrong sword. This is a holy sword right here. That's what I originally wanted. Anyways, when you come down here, you're gonna find a whole bunch of people running to the left. Before you follow them out that door, go up here to the notice board. Go down to I for an eye. You'll get 1 free Cyclops kill. Easy. Out of the 3 you need. If you want, you can collect the rest of the quests. I'm not going to because I've already beaten the game a couple times. The rewards are not so satisfying anymore. This ugly brute is already half dead, so it's easy to beat. His weak points is obviously his single eye. If you break his tusk, he staggers. If you use lightning, he'll stand there dazed like an idiot. And if you jump on his leg, you can unbalance him and tip him over. If you're playing on hard mode, he can one-shot you, so I would be very careful about that. As you can see, he toppled over because I jumped on his leg. Even though it was only for a single second, it was enough to knock him off balance when the other people attacked him, knocking him cleanly on the floor. Don't forget to loot. I mean, it's a free kill, why wouldn't you take the loot from it? He drops the same materials you get from a normal Cyclops kill, so always go grab it. Oh, and by the way, no one likes Rook. Rook is a low level, and he's fairly useless. He's good for the beginning of the game, but that's about it. Oh, and here's the peddler you saved on your way here. Not only does he sell a variety of items not found in town, but he also has the ability to enhance your weapons. If you find the right materials to upgrade your weapons, he also has the ability to do that. So that's another reason why you want to save him. Not to mention he'll sell some decent goods later in game. His stock always increases. He travels to multiple different locations in the land, so you'll find him randomly. When you talk to the Riftstone, you'll be able to create your pawn yourself the way you want. I'm going to skip that process. I've already done it. She's fine. Look at her. Beautiful. The armor is unflattering, but you know. He's saying, "Arisen, we of the Pawn Legion now accept you as blah 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 blah. We now die and live by your command. They all bow down in servitude, yada yada yada." As I said, I apologize for my poor commentary on their speech patterns. I forget. It's been a while, and I had a problem with the sound context. On your way out, you're going to be greeted with him. He's a waste of time, especially for a high level like me, but he'll teach you some basics that you can't get anywhere else, so I'm gonna run through it, probably gonna fast forward through it when I post this. But he's gonna ask you to pick up 3 crates and teach you that not all enemies are weak to physical attack. So don't just focus on strength. Some enemies can't be struck at all. They're ghosts. Of course you can't strike them with physical attacks. Magic is the only way to strike ghosts. That's just common sense. You can't cut air. And that's what this training teaches you. Teaches you how to use your pawns for teamwork, that they all do their own part individually without having to give them any kind of commands. They'll do what they need to do when they have to do it. The other one is attack your enemies. The next one, you can't tell because I'm, for one, using a magic weapon. And for two, I'm so OP no matter what weapon I use, I'm just gonna trash the scarecrows. But the blue ones are resistant to physical attack and only magic will work. The red ones are weak to physical attack, which is most enemies. Most enemies can be wounded by physical attack. There's no problem with that. There's a few out there that can't be wounded by any kind of attack, except for a select few varieties of special damage. But those enemies are rare and only under certain circumstances, such as if they pull up an invincible shield for a short while. That would be an issue. But you can overcome anything. You can kill anything in this game, as long as you put your mind to it. Forgot where I was going to go next. Hang on. Oh yeah, Mercedes. What you want to do is you want to talk to her. She's going to ask you to rest. Of course, you're going to sleep with her. I'm kidding. You're going to sleep in a tent that is provided by her. And you will progress through the main story. I'll take the time to slowly go through most of the commentary so you're not lost. They do, however, speak, but as I said before, I apologize again for the lack of proper recording. I've got a lot to learn, and this is just one of the many steps I have to take. Here you get a nasty little wake-up call when a 5-headed snake tries to eat your ass and takes away your bed. Obviously, you're not strong enough to kill it, and luckily, you don't necessarily have to. It's going to be a quick fight, because I'm obviously way above their level. Let's look at that health bar. Look at the little dots underneath it. That's how many health bars he has. It's usually a really long fight. Taking off a single head will trigger the cutscene and you can continue on your way. The Hydra will run away in fear. You know, because it's a little coward. He thought I can take because I was sleeping. Then I woke up and took its head. He's like, oh shit! I hear the rumors of the Arisen all good and true. Good footwork, good decision making. I don't remember. In other words, she just lighting you up with flipping compliments. She's into me. that pink glow and the rosy cheeks. She's into me. No, seriously, she's into me. I have her affinity for me to max, which explains the pink, lovely glow and that awkward pink, rosy cheeks that doesn't fit her profile. So, after this, I'm going to show you where to find a Cyclops. The second Cyclops. If you head out this exit here, which is the left side, follow this path here. And just go straight from here. Just a straight line from here. These enemies might be a little bit of a pain for you. When you see wolves, you're heading in the right direction. They should be right around there, more or less. You'll come across this rock area, and there's going to be a path up and a path down. You'll want to take the path down. Down here, there's going to be a river. 2 birds on the right, close to the cliff edge, and 1 Cyclops across the water, sitting there acting like a fool. He's not the smartest creature to exist. Matter of fact, he's pretty stupid. I would suggest taking out the birds first, because they can put you to sleep and can cause your death. Me being such a high level, I really just didn't care and just went straight for a fight. If you attack his hand long enough, his weapon will drop. This is what happens when he's struck by lightning. He's transfixed, doesn't move, can't fight properly. As you can see, he can climb, and his weakness is the eyes. His other weakness is lightning damage. That's his specific elemental weakness. So hitting him with an elemental weakness and his weak point in the eye will cause a huge ass amount of damage. I don't need his loot, I have like 50 of them in my inventory. I usually use him as an extra pocket change. I forgot to kill one. Now from here, what you want to do is instead of going down the cliff, you want to follow the gravel up. Right? Hang on. Yeah, you want to follow the gravel up, so you don't want to take a right there. When you reach the top here, take a right. Or you could just follow the road in general and you'll still make it here. You'll just come across bandits instead of a Cyclops and wolves. Talk to Mercedes here, and if you don't do it the way I do, which is kick the cow and then heal the cow when the cow is about to die, it could literally take a full day's worth of travel in the game. So I'm just going to fast forward through this. You're going to see me kick the poor cow a couple of times. When you kick the cow, he can injure you. If you're on hard mode, he can actually run you over and kill you. But when you kick him, he travels faster for a short distance, but it costs him a little bit of his life. So if you kick him too many times, he's gonna, instead of run, he's gonna just collapse and look at you like, what the hell, man, I'm dying here. If you're good enough, you can get to the castle before night falls, and you can avoid the zombies and fight in the dark. The main enemies you're gonna find down here are goblins, harpies, and wolves. If you're a little slow, you might even come across some skeletons, both mages and sword and shield, and some walking undead zombies when you get to the fields of Grand Soren. So it's safer to go by day, especially on hard mode and you're new to it. Like right now, those little green clouds is healing. If you wave for help, they're more likely to heal you. Running yourself over by the cow is also a good way to get injured and heal the cow. Is what I have to do because these goblins literally do 1 point of damage. That's how low level they are compared to me. Like I don't know why they just can't be immune. I would love to just be immune to their damage. It'd be amazing. But sadly, there's no immunity to damage. The lowest it goes is 1 point. Oh right, forgot about this. There are bandits too, right around here. When you get down to the valley, small amount of bandits shouldn't be too difficult to deal with. Typically when I'm bored I actually ride the cow. If you crawl right on his back, you waste no stamina. And here is Gran Soren, the capital. And will probably be your central hub for your travels, since it has an inn, you can change your vocation, you can level up your weapons, buy new weapons, hire pawns. It pretty much has everything you need. And then some. Shazorn in the capital a while. Hurry man, step lively! Here is our good friend Homeless Mason. If you do all the quests, he has a pretty intriguing background. He may be homeless, but he has a network, surprisingly. And he's more on our side than the king himself is. He's more for the people than anybody else, that's for sure. Well, before I inquire for the Pawn Guild, I think I'm going to leave this quest here. And I'll see you guys next time. Next time we're going to be going down to the Pawn Guild. I'm going to continue on the quest until I at least get to the Griffin. I'll teach you all the tricks and secrets for that, and I'll see you next time.